I'm using this new stick for here.
We're not about littering. No. We're going on the other side of the road?
Just let me know what's going on.
Yes, sir.
I'm alone. Sitting in front.
Oh, thank you.
That's Andy driving the RV.
Drive, I'll do that. No, I don't want to drive. No license. Yeah, you're pointing at the asses, but they do. Come on, Josh. Holy mackerel, what a hustler. Hey, I gotta take this guy on the road with me. Both these guys. Both these guys.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to come closer, we'll commence our little program of welcoming George and the Canada 500-day walk. First of all, to commence our program promoting organ donation and welcoming George to our community, we welcome Jesse McNair to come here forward and sing "O Canada."
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, with all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Someone who has been very close to George in his walk across Canada is his honored judge, Ray Stortini. He has been a special source of encouragement to George, and he met him last year, and I invite His Honor to come forward and address us for a moment, please.
Last year I received a call to go to the YMCA to meet a young man named George Marcello. And something to do with organ transplants and organ donations. And I went and met him. And at that time, I had a general interest in organ donations. I knew that as a country, we didn't do too well in donating organs, but I didn't really, it wasn't anything personal, it was just general knowledge. But then, spending time with George, I found out more about this problem, and here was somebody trying to do something about it. And since that time, I have developed a personal interest because my brother-in-law, a very close member of our family, became very ill and required a heart, and there were no hearts available for a long time, and he was at death's door in a coma and life support, the doctor's ready to pull the plug, and he survived the night, and the next morning, lo and behold, there was a heart available. And he received it, and he's now on the mend. He's walking with a cane. I think he's going to be home by Christmas. So from general knowledge to very personal interest, this is something that we all have to think about, because you know, it's a shame, I think almost a sin, to waste organs, good organs in the ground when lives can be saved. And I think what George is doing to raise the level of consciousness and awareness, not only in our community but in the province and even on a national basis, would be a good thing. And we all have to instruct our next of kin that if something should happen to us, we want our organs donated, even our fingernails. I told my wife, fingernails, donate everything, even the good parts, everything. And also we have to be sure to write a letter so that whoever's in charge of our state will know about it and tell our families about it. And if you go to renew your OHIP card, you'll find that they'll ask you that. It's now on the OHIP card. They don't have a separate organ donation card. So if we do that, that's a good start. Anyway, we're here to wish George luck and God's blessing.
Thank you very much, Judge Martini. Police services are usually our first contact when a serious accident occurs, and thus our police services are a very important link with organ donations. And we welcome next our City of Sault Ste. Marie Chief of Police Services, Robert Davis, to the podium.
On behalf of the police service, George, I want to welcome you to Sault Ste. Marie and certainly applaud your efforts in raising awareness for the tremendous need of organ transplants amongst Canadians. Our police service certainly supports your efforts and is pleased to assist you to be part of this walk while you're in our community. The key, and I guess the message here, is to entice people to become donors and to ensure that family and friends are aware of our wishes. Now, this can be achieved by signing the consent card on your driver's license. And I guess each year, 3,000 people die in traffic accidents and another 220,000 are injured. Of that, 19,000 are seriously injured. With that, the police community, through the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, passed a resolution last month. Resolution is that the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police supports the organ donation program, and that the association staff is directed to develop an implementation strategy for presentation at the next executive board meeting in November. So, as you can see, George, the policing community supports you, and we all wish you success in your trek across the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Davis. Our Sioux Greyhound Hockey Club has earned a high image in our community, and they have been excellent goodwill ambassadors for many, many causes. And we welcome the Greyhounds Director of Marketing and Public Relations, Tracy Bogno, and 3 of the Greyhound members to join us with a message.
Welcome. On behalf of the Sioux Greyhounds management, staff, and players, we would like to present to George a Sioux Greyhound replica jersey as a token of our appreciation in all he has done for our community and the communities around us. His story has touched us in many different ways.
Members to join us with a message.
behalf of the Sioux Greyhounds management, staff, and players, we would like to present to George a Sioux Greyhound replica jersey as a token of our appreciation in all he has done for our community and the communities around us. His story has touched us in many different ways. We feel together we can spread the word and save some more lives. Good luck and congratulations to the entire Step by Step team.
Organ transplants have moved far beyond the experimental stage, with approximately 500,000 transplants have taken place in the throughout the world since Dr. Christian Bernard performed the first heart transplant in South Africa in the late 1960s. And in Sault Ste. Marie, to date, we now have approximately 15 persons who are able to enjoy a new level of renewed life thanks to a transplant. And we welcome to give a brief story on where they stand on it. Two people who are in excellent health today, who are recent organ donation recipients, to speak to you. First, Carrie Apostle, and then Andy Tanella. Carrie and Andy, please.
Hi, thank you for coming. I had a kidney transplant 7 months. Hi, thank you for coming. Right? Okay. Hi, I had a kidney transplant 7 months ago. My brother, 4 years younger than myself, tested 100% positive, and thanks to him, I no longer just exist, but I have a wonderful life. And I am here to appeal to your heart, to your minds, to make the connection between the two. I would hate to think that I would have to appeal too much to your heart, because I think you all have the emotional intelligence to do what's right, but it takes intellectual intelligence of your mind to make that connection, to give it some thought, to follow the lead of your heart, and let your mind guide you to sign your organ donation cards. And if ever you were put in the position to save a life and to make the quality of someone's life better, if you would please do so. Thanks.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. I received a cadaveric kidney transplant 6 weeks ago, and it's changed my life totally compared to being on dialysis for the last 3.5 years. It's a big difference being from on dialysis and being away from the machine. You have all this time, and you don't have to go to the hospital 15 hours a week. And what George is doing for our community and across Canada is just unbelievable. I sat in the nephrology clinic in London, Ontario, and I stared at his poster wondering who this fellow is walking across Canada. And I was going to do it myself next year if I didn't receive a transplant and do it in a motorized dialysis chair. And I met up with George about a week ago, and he stayed at my house and everything. It still astonishes me on what miracles can happen, and it's just unbelievable. I'm here talking in front of you today. And also I'm trying to get together a peer group and for Sault Ste. Marie area, so all of us patients can talk together and help on each other, and because it is a battle being on dialysis, and there's a lot of things that go through your mind if you're ever going to get a kidney. You know, it's a long, long wait, and I'm just happy to be here today and happy to be off the machine. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Carrie and Andy. We commenced our program with Jessie Leclerc singing our national anthem. Jessie and her mother Joyce and their family has had a very close connection and association with George Marcello as he has at his walk. And I now invite Joyce Dago to come forward and speak about her belief in the walk. Joyce, please.
Okay, can you hear me? Hi, my name is Joyce Daigle. Right uptight. Aha. I would also like to thank everybody for coming out here. It doesn't surprise me with Sault Ste. Marie. We just have the most wonderful community in Northern Ontario. with our St. Mary's Knights running with us, and the kids from White Pines and the Greyhounds. It never, ever, ever surprises me, the love that comes out of this city. I just love living here, and I'm very proud to be a part of Sault Ste. Marie. How we became involved as a family with George's walk was a very close cousin of mine became very ill and needed a liver transplant. And this is a woman my age, very vital, very healthy, lived a wonderful life, good mom. And again, just out of the blue, became very, very ill. She was literally, and I've heard it said before, on death's door. She was down to under 70 pounds and just what really was dying. George, she became aware that George was going to be going through her community, and she wanted to go and carry the torch. And her husband said, you know, don't do it. You're just not well enough to do it. She couldn't even walk. And she came to the decision within herself that if she was going to die, she was going to die helping somebody else. And she got up that day and did carry George's torch. And members of our family have carried the torch in the communities that we live in. And I think it's one of those things that it's kind of like a silent situation that nobody ever talks about until it hits you, until it hits someone in your family. And there's so many things in life that we can't do anything about, that we just have to accept. And this is something that we can do something about. And faith without works is dead. And I'm very, very proud to be a part of George's endeavors. I just believe in it so much, and I know that good things are going to come from this. They certainly have for our family. My cousin had her transplant. She's home and doing well. Her husband is very happy, you know, to have her back. Her daughter, her son, her grandkids. She'll be actually traveling to the Sault in February, we hope, if she's feeling well enough. And you know, I've heard it said that it's miraculous, and I personally believe that God works through people. It is miraculous, the technology that has given her back a life and kept her with us. And I know, you know, there's no sense in saying thank you to all you people, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't concerned. But I will say thank you anyway. Thanks a lot.
Yes, indeed, Joyce, it is miraculous. And for an organ recipient, it is truly a beautiful feeling to be able to have a renewed opportunity to live and enjoy life. There are two parts to the organ donation. For most people, though, one, of course, is the recipient, and the other is the organ donor. For a recipient, after surgery, there is the thought that, yes, I am alive, thanks to the love and support of someone who has lost their life. And believe me, it can be a very traumatic experience, and it takes a while to get used to that feeling that you have an organ thanks to the loss of someone else's life. And you often think seriously about the sacrifice of that person. I invite Lori Mancuso to come forward now to speak to these thoughts and the impact of losing a loved one and the meaning of organ donations to her.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and George, thank you for allowing us to participate in this event. It means a lot to me and my husband Jim. 3.5 years ago, I had a 16-year-old son, my only son. He was out playing the game of hockey, the game that he loved so much, when his heart stopped and he died. Through our tragedy, not too long after we were told that he passed away, the doctor came to me and my husband and asked if we would be donors for sight for a young male.
I invite Lori Mancuso to come forward now to speak to these thoughts and the impact of losing a loved one and the meaning of organ donations to her.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and George, thank you for allowing us to participate in this event. It means a lot to me and my husband Jim. 3.5 years ago, I had a 16-year-old son, my only son. He was out playing the game of hockey, the game that he loved so much, when his heart stopped and he died. Through our tragedy, not too long after we were told that he passed away, the doctor came to me and my husband and asked if we would be donors for sight for a young male child in Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, and we immediately said yes. To this day, I've been overwhelmed by the response of people like George and other people that are donors, and for the recipients. We need more of this, and this is why we're here today. And I'd just like to thank George very much for everything he's done for our community and making us more aware of what's going on around us. Thank you, George.
Support is awfully important for a recipient, and I know the support I received a year ago, well, after receiving a transplant from this community, just was totally overwhelming. And one individual who gave me support, and I really appreciate it, was Mayor Stephen Butlin and City Council, and they sent good wishes to me, and I'll tell you, it was a very uplifting feeling, and I welcome Mayor Steve Butlin to the podium now.
Thanks, Harold. It's very difficult to follow the eloquence of the people who have come previous to myself. And Sault Ste. Marie, thank you, is a wonderful community. And when you look around and I see the people that have been directly affected and impacted, it really does hit home, because there are employees here, there are families that I know very, very well, several of them, and you wouldn't think that in a community our size that they would be here front and center. And to hear Harold revitalized, because I knew Harold when he was struggling for all those years, and saying, I wish I could do this and I wish I could do that. And we're really glad that Harold can do all the things that he used to do once again. Maybe we'll hire you back, Harold. George, I, like His Honor, met you at the YMCA. 'Tis a good thing you do, not only for us, but for all of Canada. If I could put one negative note to this, Canada has a dismal record in signing on to organ transplantation. And it just confuses one, bewilders one to think, how come we aren't? Because it's such a logical, appropriate last thing to do for people so desperately in need. So with that, Georgia, I hope that is not a negative note. It just gives you more motivation for all of us to keep this awareness mission alive, and we all have to be a part of it. So can't match the Greyhounds, but I did match the color. On behalf of the city of Sault Ste. Marie, which is a naturally gifted community, just like the Greyhounds, we present to you a naturally gifted sweatshirt. It's kind of cool out here today, but if you can wear it over that Roots thing, it'd be very good.
Thank you very much, Mayor Butlin. George received his transplant in 1995, and commencing in 1997, had a celebration walk to say thank you for that gift of life. In '98, George, along with another transplant recipient, John Totten, felt so strongly about improving the situation of organ and tissue transplant donation in Canada, co-founded Step by Step Organ Transplant Association, and it is our privilege to welcome George to our community today and help promote the continued donation of organ transplants. Welcome, George.
Thank you. It's been really great staying here in Sault Ste. Marie. And once again, I think we're getting spoiled, boys. We had a pretty good reception in Sudbury, and we thought it'd be a hard act to follow, but Sault Ste. Marie is sure doing that. So I was just so moved by the kids this morning coming out there from the schools. I think if we can reach our young about this, like, we're way ahead. Just the excitement that we've had in the last few days with people that we've talked to in the Sioux and organizers such as Joyce and Andy and Harold and Carrie, and we're just so optimistic that things will change in this country. And I especially want to thank Lori for coming out here today, because that's the reason why I'm doing the walk, is to say thank you to that family that made that courageous and unselfish decision to donate an organ at a time of tragedy. And it's unfortunate right now that we're living in a country where that's not happening as often. And one of the things that we need to address is the system that we have presently, because we don't have a very good system. And I have to mention this so that everybody could be real aware of what's going on in this country. We have a system where we're approaching the family at the worst time possible to make a very, very important decision. And it takes very exceptional people to say yes at that moment. Very exceptional people, because the majority of people will say no, don't touch the body, you know. So we've been using this system for the last 15 years, and it's not working. We've had a lot of organs that have gotten vetoed at the hospital because of the system. We have a lot of wasted organs that have gone underground. We have a lot of people that were very, very determined to donate their organs, and their wish didn't get carried out, and they would be turning over in their graves right now, knowing that that wish did not get carried out. So this is a very important decision that we have to make in our lives, and we should have the right to have that decision protected. And this is what I've been lobbying from when I did the Ontario walk. And we managed to get Premier Harris's response, and he's been taking some steps, but we need to get the rest of the government's response. We need to get the federal government to act on this immediately. It's a crisis that we're facing. You know, there's too many good men, women, and children that are passing away needlessly. The recipients that were up here, and myself, we are the fortunate ones. We are fortunate that we're up here. We could do the same for many other Canadians. And this is why we've undertaken this task to go through 491 cities and towns to bring this message in every community, so that we can get things turned around. And we don't have to live in a country where we're the lowest. We can live in a country where we're the highest. And that's what we're all striving for today here, right? And that's what we need to do. We need to take this as serious as anything else that we take in life. And today is a special day, because we're doing this in memory of Joey Mancuso, who lost his life, and another person benefit from that. And we will be coming back here on November the 6th, and on that day we will hope to get the whole city involved in this, and get everybody to come and touch the torch or pass it. Today is a special day, because we're doing this in memory of Joey Mancuso, who lost his life, and another person benefit from that. And we will be coming back here on November the 6th, and on that day, we will hope to get the whole city involved in this, and get everybody to come and touch the torch or pass it, and I think we can pull it off. I think we can pull it off. And if we can pull that off in Sault Ste. Marie, what an excellent example that'll be for the rest of the country to witness and observe. And you know who the winners are going to be? The people on the waiting list. So with that, I want to really thank everyone for coming out here. I want to make just one little extra note here, that we're at a crucial point in our walk right now, because we're at a real shortage of funds. And we need to collect as many funds as we can in the next little while, so we can get through the next 6 cold months of winter that we have ahead of us. I'm actually walking with a shoe in a hole, with a hole in my shoe. So I gotta get new running shoes, you know, if I'm gonna do this properly. So with that, I really want to thank everybody for coming out here, and I'm gonna have my 2 road managers come up here, Sean and Dave. They're going to be with me for the next 15 months. They're from the military, but they're more of a comedy relief at this point than anything. But with that, they're going to say a few words to you. So thank you very much.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Really appreciate the support, especially with the schools and everyone coming out with like the Greyhounds and the media and things like that. We're on the road for the next 527 days, and holidays do come around, and it's yesterday we were graciously invited to Joyce Daigle's house with her family to have turkey dinner, and it was fantastic. If you're ever looking for a good turkey, that's the lady who does it. I'd like to stress a point, just with the system we have today, it's hard to get what your wishes are. It's not like your last will and testament when you sign for your donor card. Make sure your families know that your last wishes are to donate your organs, and that's one of our major points that we have to stress until we can change the system, and that's what we're out here to do. We're out here to cross Canada and change the system that we have in place today.
Hello. I have a list here of people and businesses and organizations that I wish to thank. Now, this list is by no means exhaustive, and if I've forgotten anybody, my humblest apologies. First, I'd like to thank for providing meals for George and myself and Dave the following restaurants: North 82, the Lone Star Cafe, Manelli's, Carmine's, Vincenzo's, Cesario's, and for accommodations, I would like to thank the Quality Inn. I'd like to thank ATS, who have graciously provided us with some extra cell phone batteries, and anyone who knows George knows he goes through cell phone batteries like crazy. I'd like to thank Sioux Sport Excellence for donating jackets, which I probably should be wearing right now. I'd like to thank Simply Sound for providing the sound system that we're using today and will be using tonight. I'd like to thank the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds management and team members who can come out and help support us. I'd like to thank the Sioux Star News, and especially reporter Maggie Willis, who has not only reported on what we're doing, but really helped organize a lot of things for us. Shaw TV and MCTV for their coverage of different events that we've been attending in our walk. I'd like to thank Tony Martin, MPP, for his letter of support in what we're achieving, and Carmen Provenzano for his support and appearing at our event. I'd like to thank Carrie Apostle for helping to organize and also for speaking today. I'd like to thank the Station Mall and Galaxy Theater for helping us out with our event tonight. I'd like to thank Yes Radio, Easy Rock Radio, and Hot Country Radio for their support in what we are doing. And specifically from Yes Radio, James Warner Smith, who will help us out tonight at the Galaxy Theatre, and Tim Ellis, who is a program director there. I'd like to thank the Chief of Police, Rob Davies, for his support. And along with that, of course, I'd like to thank both the OPP and the Sault Ste. Marie Police for their superb escort on the way into town today. I'd like to thank Sue Nichols and the Board of Education for their support and for helping to arrange for us to stop by at the schools and meet the kids. I'd like to thank the Mancuso family for speaking today and sharing with us what they feel about organ donation. I'd like to thank Mayor Steve Butland and his Executive Secretary Renee, who are a big help. I'd like to thank Harold Brain for his help in organizing and for emceeing today's event. Harold. And to all the families that we stayed with, we've had a great time with Joyce, Max, Jesse, Isaac and the family. They've had great support, and they've let us do our laundry and everything at their house. I'd like to thank Andy, Irene, and Josh, who have let us, use their home for to organize things and to call people, and they've really helped us out in terms of cleaning our vehicles and helping us get things together. I'd like to thank Ray and Mary Stortini for their hospitality and support. And I think that's everybody on my list.
Thank you very much. And George, the best wishes with the continuation of the mission. Thanks to you, gentlemen.
Stage in Chorus Line, dancing up a storm in Chorus Line, and then all of a sudden, bang! Here she is tonight, 7 months after having had a kidney transplant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take just a moment and stop and listen to the story of Carrie Apostle and what she has to say. Carrie, come on up.
Thank you very much, George, for making this trek across Canada on behalf of all of us. I was diagnosed about 5 years ago with a kidney disease that 2 of my cousins have succumbed to. My brother said that wouldn't be my outcome, and one of them tested 100% positive match, and 7 months ago, I did receive his kidney. He's doing fine, and I'm doing fine. He's given me back a life, because before it was an existence and a struggle, a hard struggle to have a life. And I know so many of you who are passing by today have so many people in your lives that you're concerned about for different reasons, and I acknowledge that and I appreciate that. I know that you all have strong hearts though, and I will not insult your emotional intelligence by assuming that anything else, but that you know the right thing to do. And I pray that anybody within the sound of my voice would never have to make this decision, alive or dead. But if you ever had to, I appeal to your intellectual intelligence. I appeal to your mind to make the connection with your heart. It knows what to do. Let it lead you, and let it have you make the affirmative decision to say yes, to sign your donor cards. And if ever a loved one needed you to help them regain their life, in my case with a kidney, please don't hesitate and do the right thing. And I just thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Carrie. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up the fellow who's taking the 25 million steps in the 491 towns and cities over the 527 days. He's a liver transplant recipient, and he's really passionate about what he's doing. And he's passionate about what he wants you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to George Marcello.
Thanks, James. I want to thank everybody. Everybody's talking from their hearts here. And people are wondering, what are we doing in the middle of a mall trying to address this issue? Well, that's what's got to be done. We got to go into the malls, we got to go into the schools, we got to go into the churches, because we're in a crisis here in Canada. Canada's the lowest when it comes to donating our organs in the civilized world. Why is that? The reason why is because there's not enough education and awareness. And that's why we need to do what we're doing today right here. We need to inform people about not only the critical shortage, but the benefits. And you've been hearing some real, from the heart, testimonials from recipients that have received organs. There's a lot of people that haven't received organs, that were waiting desperately, and because of our shortage, passed away. Now, Spain is a country that is doing very well in their rate of organ donations. People that go on the waiting list in that country don't worry about desperately receiving an organ, because organs usually arrive in that country. So why is it that Spain is doing so well and we are not? We need to address this issue. We need to address it at a municipality level, we need to address it at a provincial level, we need to address this at a federal level, and we need to take it serious. We need to bring as much education and awareness as possible so that we can leave people with a thought about making a decision to become an organ donor, which could be one of the most important decisions that you can make in your life. Because with that thought and that decision, you can save up to 6 people's lives. And not only that, you can bring a lot of joy to their families and a lot of joy to their friends. One decision can positively affect thousands of lives. So let's think about that. Now, we don't have the best system in the world. We need to lobby to get the best system in the world. We need to not invent the wheel here. We need to see what other countries are doing and why they're doing so well and use some of their systems. This is why I've been going from community to community to get this message out, so that we can rally the support of community members, we can rally the support of politicians, we can rally the support of the public, and change this situation from Canada being the lowest to Canada being the highest, and ensure that our kids and our grandkids will live in a country where we're not desperately waiting for organs. We are coming back to Sault Ste. Marie on November the 6th. On that day, we are going to be setting up a route in your great city, and we are going to try and get every single person to touch and carry this torch while we go through every street in Sault Ste. Marie that day. And we're going to try and do our best to get as many people as possible. And after the end of it, I know that Sault Ste. Marie is going to come through, and Sault Ste. Marie is going to set the stage and be a perfect example for the rest rest of the 400 cities and towns that I'll be walking through, and it'll be an excellent testimony for the whole country to witness. I'm hoping that on that day that you'll remember, and we'll keep you notified of which route and which time and dates that we're going to be at which corner, at which. We're hoping that everybody will be able to come out and touch this torch, and let's turn this situation around and save some lives. Thank you.
If anyone wants to donate.
Take